Hello and welcome to Academy Talk Radio. This is the Ask a Medium radio show. I'm your host, Reverend Ivy Rivera, Psychic Medium. I'm also the founder of the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where we air tonight, coming to you from Buffalo, New York. We have other Ivy Leagues opening in California, Pennsylvania, and soon to be elsewhere. So stay tuned for that. I designed this radio show in the expectancy that it will reach those of you who are truly ready to receive the knowledge that's being taught here at exactly the right moment, in synchronicity with your spirit, to see a full listing of the classes that are being taught at the school. You can visit ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com, and if you want to book a reading with me through Skype, FaceTime, email, or in person, you could do that at ivyriverapsychicmedium.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Ivy Rivera. I encourage all listeners worldwide to attend classes here at the school electronically or in person if you can get out here to us at one of the locations. So join us at the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where we are raising up the next generation of light workers.
Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Friedman and I am your host for this week's show. I'm an assistant teacher here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. My guest tonight, co-host, crystal expert, is and fellow assistant teacher, also a certified crystal healer, Theresa Matuszak. How are you, Theresa?
I'm great. How are you doing? Hi, everybody.
So we're back tonight for part 2 of our crystal topic. Last week we had, a lot of excellent calls. We couldn't get to too much information, but that's okay. So we're back to deliver the information tonight. And as always, we're taking your calls all hour. So before we get started, I want to mention some upcoming classes. So tomorrow night, we actually have Tree's Crystal and Energy Work class. Excited to take that. Unfortunately, it's too late for new people to join in, but they can always look for, hopefully you'll be teaching it again.
Yes, I will. I'm actually planning on doing both the Crystals 101 class and Crystals and Energy Work come October, November timeframe. So really just stay tuned to the website and look under the classes, workshop, lecture tab, and it'll be updated when we get it going.
All right, awesome. So we also have Meet Your Guides. That's coming up August 17th. We have a brand new class, the Karma class, August 21st. We also have Open Circle, August 28th. That is only $10. It's for, brand new people. Anybody who wants to come and ask any questions you have about any type of, development issue, anything spiritual, paranormal, what have you. You can come in, just in a safe space to kind of just discuss, what's going on and ask questions.
Which is pretty awesome, really, if you don't mind me interjecting.
No, what?
It's pretty awesome because, if anybody has questions about exactly how all this really works, their own possible abilities, do they have, all that other stuff, it's pretty cool to kind of come and sit, listen in and ask, random questions, just really kind of ask, how does this work with me, and just listen to everybody and see really how familiar it all really sounds, too.
Gives people a good idea of, what direction to head into, if they want to go into the readings or if they want to do more paranormal work, it kind of gives them, options and, I don't know where I was going with that. Okay.
Moving on.
All right. So we have Yogini Nicole. She is coming back to do Discover Your Chakras, the Sacred Centers of Inner Wisdom. That is August 29th. She is also teaching Introduction to Chakra Therapy. That will be September 5th. There is a brand new level 1 psychic mediumship development starting September 18th. And, of course, we have to start mentioning our wonderful psychic fair, the Silo City Psychic Fair. That is September 23rd. We will have tons of readers that have been certified through the Academy. We also have a bunch of vendors. There's a paranormal tour or something else going on, too, right?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually really excited. This is year 2 that we're doing it at the Silos. And there will be paranormal investigation tours that are happening after the actual fair part winds up and stuff like that. So the mediums won't really be there for that part, but after, I believe it's starting at 6:30.
Okay.
And it's on the website. You can actually book now
what
time you want to take that tour. So it's pretty cool.
Great.
It's with Don Trainer, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that. Excuse me. Last year was tons of fun. We both worked the event, and it was just awesome. So many people.
So busy. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness. I'm surprised we're still like coherent.
I know. We barely had time to breathe. It was,
Yeah.
But it was great.
It was awesome, yeah.
All right. So on tonight's show, we're going to discuss crystals again. We'll cover how they work, how they assist with healing, and how to properly care for them. So again, the goal tonight is to give everybody a basic understanding, of crystals and how to use them. We're also taking questions all hour, either on topic or your psychic mediumship questions. The number to call in is 646-668-2353. Again, that's 646-668-2353. Okay. And I think we have a caller waiting, so we're going to get to the caller before we jump into topic. Hello, caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, what's your
Hello?
name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi. Manny from Rochester, New York.
Okay, hi. What's your question tonight?
Hi. I had an unusual question about me and my wife were at Lilydale about a year ago. Then I was videotaping this at the Maplewood Hotel inside one of the rooms there with the furniture and a picture of the Azure, the spirit guide. And then I went to the side window there towards the end of the tape, and this looked like something was flying around, buzzing around out there, but it was huge, kind of big, and then it came back like to go on my camera, and then it shot out again. But me and my wife were looking at it, over and over, saying like, that don't look like no bird. So this, I was wondering if you could pick up anything on that, if there was something different, or.
Honestly, I'm kind of getting a mix of like different spirits that were present at the time.
Was this more in the evening?
Yeah, it's about not too evening though. It's like probably around 4.
4. Okay, I was about to say between like 5, 6 o'clock, but okay.
Yeah, it was
about
something. It was flying, but it flew away towards the porch, the rail, but then it came back like it wanted to be filmed. And it was so quickly, like, I was like there, we were looking at it over and over, stopping the frames and everything, and like, that looks kind of weird.
Honestly, it kind of feels like it was, at one point, somebody tied to the hotel. Like, that's the first thing I'm getting. I can't distinguish, like, it feels almost like a couple, like a combined, like, male-female energy.
Yeah, it was exactly the same. At first I was getting male real strong, and then I started feeling female. It definitely feels like something tied around the one painting to the guide, the big painting. I forget what his name is, but it feels like a connection there as well. But I kind of feel like it's people who really kind of frequented and who really just kind of like would roam the grounds. I want to say almost like residential, like they were residents at one point, but it was more with the male's energy versus the supportive white-female energy.
Yeah.
But it feels like they both had ties in there as well.
It feels like they're just kind of around, still watching over everything, kind of keeping an eye on people, making sure, they're not up to, no good or anything like that. Just feels like kind of protective, watching over the area. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looked kind of like, it's a weird thing. It looked like a hummingbird, but then when I slowed it down, and it looked like it was taller than a hummingbird. So that's interesting. So is there energy?
Yeah, it feels like yeah, they just pop back in to kind of just check on things and, make sure, their favorite place is still intact. I don't feel really anything negative. It just feels like Theresa said, more curiosity and just making sure everything's still being maintained. It feels like they have this need to,
caretaker vibe. Yeah. So.
Oh, right, because you're right. That's interesting. It was funny because I couldn't see it with my naked eye, but when I saw it on the camera, I was like, wow.
That's one of the best ways to catch it too. If you're into any kind of.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like the best way to catch it. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling.
All right. Thank you. Enjoy your show. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So first, I want to recap from last week or a couple weeks ago, rather, just in case people are tuning in for the first time. They missed last show. So I just kind of wanted the listeners kind of get to know you a little bit better and how you started on your crystal journey.
My journey, my never-ending spiritual quest that involves rocks, which is isn't good because when I have a temper, you don't want me having a rock in my hand. Okay.
That's not what they're used for.
Right, I know. Yes, let's put the disclaimer out now. Crystals are not for any sort of harm. Basically, I really got into it when I was a kid. I started young with picking up stones. I always had rocks in my pocket. And I used to pick stones out of like gardens and stuff like that. My mom would yell at me, put those back, there's not yours, and whatever. And so a little bit later on down the road, when I was about 12, my great aunt, who lived in Pennsylvania, she had passed away. And the family had brought up some stuff that summer. And I was always a curious little kid and getting into everything. So my mother goes, here, take this, go, whatever you can find, it's yours. Well, to my luck, surprise, I guess we'll say, there was a bag of like Rotary Club stuff where you send things to different places, like around the world, you get things, and there's all kinds of stuff in there. Well, in there was a bag with these colored stones, and of course, automatically, I'm just drawn, I'm sucked right into them. And I still have one. I bring it with me for my Crystals 101 class, and it's an amethyst. And in the bag was an amethyst, a clear quartz, and a rose quartz, and a very small, like dime-size stones. And came with a card, which I still have. It's from Thunder Bay, Ontario, the mines in Thunder Bay, which I'd love to go to someday. Mm-hmm. And, I was a little devastated because as a kid, I'm reading on there, it's the birthstone for, amethyst, the birthstone for February. And I'm like, Mom, it's not February. She said, keep it. You can keep it. Just go. Get out of my hair. So over time, I would have them with me because I was just so intrigued. Mm-hmm. And then when I would go to the library, and here's this kid, checking out, asking for rock books, wanting, and they're just like, what a little weirdo, right? So I was checking out some sort of like rock-orientated book, something I can continue to learn on. Then come 1997, we finally get a computer. We update the house, yay. And there wasn't even a whole lot online at that time either. So I really had to stick to like books and just keep looking on the internet as I went. So then when I was about 25, I would say, I moved out on my own, and I acquired my second tarot deck. And a friend of mine had taken me to a shop, like a metaphysical shop that had all kinds of like crystals and sage and all kinds of stuff. And automatically I'm drawn in. Yeah. I'm just in love in here. And that's where my collection really started. So then over time, I just kept educating myself. I just kept getting crystals and noting like how they made me feel, mm-hmm. how calm I would be, or how relaxed I would be, or just how they even, because tarot, that took me a while in the beginning. Yeah. And I didn't even understand what was happening. But I noticed that when I picked up an amethyst or something just to kind of hang on to it, mm-hmm. stuff started flowing. Oh, and I'm cool. Like, okay, so there's got to be something to this. Mm-hmm. So I just really decided that I, wanted to really not only help myself, but help others. So it was about 5 years ago, I actually started making wire wrap crystal jewelry that I sell here at the Ivy League.
Which everybody is drawn to, by the way, when they come here. Just
they all
beeline the trees.
Right. I've heard that so many times. I've never seen it, but I've heard it. So yeah, and I just started doing it that way. And my own little motto became, healing the world one crystal at a time. Mm-hmm. So the more pendants I make, earrings, bracelets, and so forth, and put on display and sell, and it's really just spreading it out and really helping people. So after I started attending classes here at the Academy 2.5 years ago, I want to say, I decided I really wanted to get into it a whole lot further because I could not sit down and do a psychic mediumship reading without something in my hand. It was the same with tarot. I just could not sit there without some rock in my hand or in my pocket. So then I really looked into it and I started really educating myself and taking some classes to where now I'm, a Reiki master. That helped with taking the class through Ivy's. Really just kind of learning the energy. And once you can really get a basic understanding of energy, crystals are really that much easier to grasp because there's so much energy with those. So then really I just, became a certified Reiki master. Now I'm a certified crystal healer. I'm also taking courses well, I completed courses on chakras, balancing, and so forth, taking another crystal modality type course. And then once I get through that, I'm hoping to teach that as well. So.
That's amazing. That's why you're our go-to crystal expert here at the Academy.
I cannot remember them all, though. I had so many people come up to me and say, Terry, what do I need for this? I'm like, let me look at my phone, because there's literally like hundreds and thousands of crystals. So it gets real tricky. Even I need like a database, like a list. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've seen people like walk in and just be like, I have this rock. I don't know what it is. Help me.
Right. It's a little easier that way to identify versus being like, oh, I need something for this. I'll be like, hold on. you know, and scroll.
Yeah.
Right.
So probably, a question that a lot of people are curious about. What crystals would you recommend for a beginner, like a crystal starter kit, if you will?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, first I'd probably say clear quartz. It's known as the master healer or the great healer. It's really an amazing stone because it not only helps to really calm and like cleanse our own energy, clear us out, but it can also be, it also amplifies. So therefore, if you put another crystal with it, like black tourmaline or, an agate or amethyst with it, which, is quartz itself, it amplifies anything it's with. So that's pretty amazing. So if you have like a golden tiger's eye and you really want to strengthen the luck and prosperity and stuff from a golden tiger's eye, you just have it like right with a clear quartz, and it just magnifies.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Another thing is if you need, like, let's say you're going out and you're getting used to crystals and you really need to have your black tourmaline on you and you cannot find it, you can just take a clear quartz and set your intentions that you would like for that clear quartz to have the properties and list what you want it to do, and it will actually replace any crystal. So it's pretty amazing to have clear quartz.
Yeah, definitely.
My goodness. Let me see. God, there's so many. I literally can't think. Okay, so probably amethyst, I'd say, is another one. It's kind of the go-to stone. When you don't have clear quartz, you can just go right to amethyst. With that one, it helps so much with like stress, anxiety. It can actually help with things like addictions, PTSD, and so forth. It's very, very good for a lot of like the help clearing out mentally and stuff like that.
Okay.
I would say rose quartz, another quartz there. Rose quartz, it's called like the universal love stone. And it's not just like, ooh, let me attract the lover, anything like that. It actually helps with like partnerships, relationships. So it's like husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
And then also parents to children, grandparents to children, but it also helps you to keep reminding yourself that you deserve the love too. So it harnesses that love and really brings it right back in. So that's what I love about that one.
Yeah.
And then I would say, honestly, golden tiger's eye, simply because it's really good for grounding and protecting, but also abundance, luck, prosperity. And it's a really good job stone. So like if you're searching for a job or you want more luck and prosperity with your job, you just have that in your pocket or jewelry or however you want it. And it really helps with stuff like that.
Everybody's going to run out and buy tiger's eye now.
I always have one on. I have a necklace that always has it on. It's like my favorite stone. One of my favorite,
All right. So then we have a question coming in from Facebook from an Ashley. So lately everyone is so negative and in a bad mood at work. There we go. Tied in with your tiger's eye. Which crystals or stones can I have on me to protect against it all?
Definitely tiger's eye. Like we just said, tiger's eye is really good. It's not just a all-around good, grounding, balancing stone, but it's really good with your solar plexus as well. Which your solar plexus actually helps to keep you nice and centered and balanced. And it's protecting. It's a very calmly protecting. Like you also have black obsidian and Apache tear, which are both volcanic glass. So even though technically they're glass, they're still a mineral of sort. And the funny thing is with them is because they're made of glass and because they're made out of fire, they have this like nature to be able to take negative energy and kind of polish it up and send it out positively, but depending upon the surrounding energy, it can actually throw it out. So it comes out a little fiery and almost like hits a little too hard. So the tiger's eye is a little more gentle with that. Another one I would say is black tourmaline, which protects our bodies, our energies, and our auras on a very just kind of round out all spiritual plane level. And it's very good for paranormal investigations as well.
Keep that stuff off you.
Yes.
No attachment.
With this one, because it protects our aura and everything, it kind of has the, what I refer to as the I'm rubber, you're glue defense. Yeah. So what happens is you really realize you're in your bubble and you're all, yay, all nice and happy. And then you look over at your coworker and they're just kind of like looking at you like, ugh. So what happens here is their energy or the energy in the area kind of bounces off your bubble and it'll just kind of go out. And anybody around, especially people who are sensitive, will actually think it's coming from you versus bouncing off of you. So a little word of caution with that one, just be a little aware. I mean, we can't always know who's sensitive and who's not in the workplace.
Oh, yeah.
So really with that one, what I want to say is have a rose quartz with it because rose quartz is so loving. It will actually send those vibes back out more in a little bit of a positive, loving manner versus just a complete bang, here, take it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so,
that's definitely good advice.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that one because we don't want to ever be accused of anything that we're not doing. And I've been on that end of it, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's really not. So as wonderful as black tourmaline is, and it's great for protecting your homes and stuff like that, you're in the workplace in a highly populated area that is enclosed. It can get really, really tricky.
Yeah.
So just be careful with that one. But yeah, that's probably my best advice with that.
Okay, so a lot of the darker stones, you think darker stones, more protection.
Yes,
right?
there's actually I'm glad you mentioned that. There's actually called the, it's kind of like negative, like black rule of thumb. So it's a black stone is actually, because negative can appear to be black and be dark. So it's any negative energy versus the black stone actually will help repel it. So depending on what it is, because you have black tourmaline, black obsidian, Apache tear, jet, black onyx, and black moonstone. These stones all kind of help keep the negative away, but depending on the stone, it has additional properties as well.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said,
so not just for protection, but they have other uses as well.
Yes, but very good for, sometimes it's kind of like that's their main purpose in some ways, but they do have other properties as well.
All right, very cool. So then I know you mentioned a bunch of the courses that you're working on and things like that, and you also have your crystals and energy work class. But what are some ways that crystals in general can be used for like healing modalities?
That's actually a good question. So the crystals kind of help really just, their main purpose is just to really kind of help with strengthening our energy and everything. And they're used in like what I teach in the crystal and energy course coming up, how to do like a generalized crystal energy session. Also how to apply crystals to your Reiki practice, how to use them. And then going into chakras, adding them to chakras, because with chakras, you can do just a simple meditation to really help align yourself. But when you add in crystals, that's kind of adding in a little bit of a different element. It's kind of its own thing, really.
Okay.
And there's so many other different ways to kind of throw it in there, just meditating with them in general, using them for different sorts of different things.
Okay. So here, I think, is definitely, an important topic to get to. So what should people know before purchasing crystals?
Okay. So the first thing I want to say, and this is something I talk about in my Crystals 101 class, is always, always, always cleanse your stones when you bring them home. If you're not going to be able to do it right away, like what I will do is I will carry like a baggie of loose sage leaves and put the crystals like right in there. Because what happens is crystals absorb energy. They absorb like even negative energy. They absorb chemicals and stuff like this. So you could go to, say, come here to the Academy where there's lots of crystals to choose from. But as awesome as it feels in here, every person that goes near those crystals, it's absorbing their energy. So if you purchase a crystal, say, online or from, like a psychic fair or wherever, and that person was having a negative experience, or there was some kind of issue that had taken place in the environment of the stone, it tends to linger and it tends to absorb into the stone. So you really want to get a crystal that is at a really nice high vibration to start working with you, because you want to connect that energy. So the very first thing you want to do, whether, like I said, whether you purchase in a shop, online, at a fair, anything like that, is you definitely 100% want to cleanse them out. You want to clear them out. The next thing I would say is be careful and be mindful when you go shopping for a crystal. If the cost seems too good to be true, it kind of is. It generally is. A lot of people, especially now, it seems like to be what I call the holistic boom going on, and people are really just starting to eat it up and stuff. And I've been to a few gem shows and stuff, and I will actually go throughout the place and look and see what is priced where, and is that, my comfort zone and stuff like that. Because the thing is, too, is I urge people to do some research and to look to see generally what the crystal looks like, what it should look like, color and so forth, and cost as well. Cost, and the cost will depend on if it's a small tumbled stone, if it's a large cathedral, because, really, a small amethyst tumbled stone about the size of a quarter shouldn't cost more than about $1, maybe $2 at the most. But then you've got those giant amethyst cathedrals that run thousands of dollars.
Oh, so those are gorgeous, though.
I will own one day, someday. So yeah, there's a huge price difference there. But just pay attention to it and really do your research as to what they should look like. Because another thing is too is that there are a lot of crystals that are coming out that are not what they're supposed to be, such as like what we call like fake turquoise. And then the borax crystals. So with the turquoise, what happens is people will take howlite, which is a white stone, with what looks like a gray to black, almost like a spider webbing type pattern going on. And people will dye it like a beautiful teal blue and sell it off as turquoise. No.
What is wrong with people?
What is wrong? And there's also a stone called magazinite, and they will also dye that. That one's the one that looks like it. They'll label it as turquoise, and it's got like brown lines, like almost like straight, jagged, like brown lines. That is also not turquoise. Yeah. So the best way to determine if you actually have turquoise or not is, number one, turquoise is more of a tealy green color versus blue.
Oh, okay.
There is a chemical that they have that's called a stabilizer. And what they will do is they will actually put it in with actual turquoise to bring out more of that teal blue color. Oh, okay. So you have to kind of watch. If it says stabilized turquoise, it doesn't mean that it's fake. It just means that it has been a little enhanced to have that pretty color. But 3 ways we can go about to tell whether or not it's actual fake turquoise is, number one, is you can take a needle and sterilize it on your stove, heat it up, and push it into the turquoise. Natural turquoise is a very soft metal, so if it starts to melt through, you have turquoise. Oh, okay. Another way is to break it in half. Which isn't the nicest thing to do, I know. But if you break it and it's white, unfortunately you have howlite or magazinite. But if you break it and it's blue, yay, you now have broken turquoise. Unfortunately.
Go back and buy some more from where you got it from.
Go back. The third way, which is probably the better way to do it, is you take a Q-tip and put a bit of nail polish remover, and you rub on the underside, which people won't really see. If that blue starts to come off, it's dyed howlite or magazinite. If the blue does not come off, there you go, you have turquoise. With the borax crystals, I kind of encourage people to do this because it's super cool to actually watch crystallizations like form. But it's like the borax laundry detergent and like water and there's like a thing online. I don't know exactly how to do it. I'll do it someday. But when the crystallizations start to form, they all have the same shape. And they're all kind of structured the same. Crystals really aren't like that. They have different lengths and they have different sizes, especially when they're forming as a cluster. I've gone to so many shows, psychic fairs and stuff like that, to where they have these perfectly even crystal clusters sitting on a table, and they're all one solid color, and they're listed as amethyst, rose quartz, green aventurine, and I'm just like, fools, because the thing is, rose quartz does not form in a pointed structure like quartz and amethyst does. Even though it is quartz, it does not shape that way, and it's not one solid pink all the way through, all the way around. Yeah. Same thing with green aventurine. It does not grow in a cluster form. It's more, they look more like a rock formation versus that pointed structure. So it breaks my heart in a way to see these because they're just borax crystals. And here they are charging like $15, $20 for something labeled as rose quartz when it's laundry soap in water. It's so kind of sad. Yeah. So just really my best advice with this is, in the long version, I suppose, is really do your research. Really know what that crystal is supposed to look like. Know how much it's roughly supposed to cost. If you end up seeing like a really nice rose quartz heart shape for like $15 and it's really good size, hey, go for it. If you're connecting energetically to that, grab it. You know, there's really no wrong or anything here. But if you see one that's really tiny for $15 versus this really big thing for $15, you be the judge. Which one do you want? Yeah. So yeah, just really research and know roughly what you're looking for.
Okay, yeah. So do the research, and then say you're at a fair and you're just like drawn to a certain crystal. So just like you said, just go around and kind of compare it to other ones. If you're not sure, like I'm drawn to this one, I've never done any research on it, but how do I know if it's fake or not? So just kind of see what else is around.
Kind of look around, yeah. Let's put it this way: the borax crystals, because it is chemicals, you're not really going to feel much energy off of it. It's laundry soap. You know what I mean? Like howlite's an actual stone that helps, and howlite and actual like real turquoise have very similar properties. So if you're feeling an energy draw off that and it's labeled as turquoise, but you found out later that it's actually howlite, thing is for some reason your energy was connecting to that stone. So there's really no wrong with buying that. It's just unfortunate that they labeled it incorrectly or to try to fool people. But yeah, if you're seeing a stone over here and you're really drawn to this, and then you go over there and it's cheaper, but you weren't drawn to it the way you were here, grab that puppy. Like, because your energy is telling you need this.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right. So it gets a little tricky, but you want to try to browse first. But unless it really speaks to you, then, I would just kind of keep going around.
All right. Awesome advice. Definitely useful since, like you said, there's a lot of scam artists out there, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. All
right. So what type of maintenance is required for crystals? I know you always mention, you already mentioned, like putting it in the sage leaves and things like that, but like how often and what techniques, I guess.
Okay. So there's a few different things you can do. You definitely want to do what's called cleanse and recharging. There are sage smudging with the smoke. There's the sage leaves. There is also salt, water, the sun, and the moon. And then also kind of putting them down into Mother Earth, laying them on the ground or digging a little hole, putting them in. With these all work great. These will cleanse them, these will recharge them and everything else. But the issue is some crystals break down in salt and some crystals will dissolve or break down in water. So you really have to be careful. So what I suggest is what I call the dry version, the dry run, the dry cleansing, which is you can smudge them with the sage smoke or a cleansing incense like sage, frankincense, sandalwood, nagchampa, stuff like that that's meant for cleansing and clearing. And you can do this a couple ways. You can either run the stone through the smoke, stating that you cleanse any and all negative, lower, and toxic energies from this crystal. You can also say, you know, in Jesus' name I pray, you know, bless yourself, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, you know, so forth. Or if you have a lot and you're trying to really get it done, there's two things. You can either get a large organza bag. You can use a nylon. You can use a knee-high, you know, same difference. Or a netting type bag, something that the smoke can travel through. Put as many in there that are comfortable because you don't need it to rip through. Run the bag through the smoke, stating the same thing. Or you can do the traditional feather to sage, just going over the crystals. Another thing you can do is using the full moon. And once a month we get a full moon. And you put your crystals out. They do not need to be outside. They do not need to be in direct moonlight. You can actually cleanse your crystals 3 days before the full moon and up to 3 days after. But you really want to try to hit the night of the full moon because that's when her energy is really the most potent. And that will recharge and cleanse and get all that yucky kind of stuff out of there. And they really only need to sit for about 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So even if you have an overcast night or a snowstorm, as long as you have them in the window and it's not a full moon night, they're going to get what they need. I'm making noises here. So you can do that. A lot of people ask me about the sun. Now, the sun is really great for cleansing and recharging, but it does it rather abruptly. But the other thing is, too, is that some crystals don't like the sun. They'll fade. And some stones, like quartz, can kind of be like glass. So the clearer they are, the more they can kind of magnify that light. So if that light's hitting them just right, you got to really kind of be careful you don't have like a fire hazard or something going on. I have not seen it happen, and I don't want to see it happen. But I would say I best suggest to do what I call the dry method. Don't use salt water, just use the sage smudging and do the full moon.
I think it's really important to note, too, you know, with the full moon, because I've seen people, like, ask you on Facebook and things like that, like, I don't have a windowsill to put them in, like, my stones aren't going to be cleansed, but as long as they don't be in direct moonlight, I think it's important for people to know.
No, I mean, it depends on what you have, too, because with me, I mean, my husband wants to kill me once a month because I move furniture. And I put out like a 6-foot table and I'm laying stuff out, and then I'm trying to wedge other like those TV tray tables behind because I have like 300 or so in my collection. I have way too many. And they all have their own purpose, you know. So it's like trying to get them all done. But like I said, even they don't have to be direct moonlight. It's great if it is. That's awesome. But they really don't have to be. So just in general, you know. And if you can't, you know, move furniture or anything like that, just place them on the floor right by that window, and they're going to get what they need. Or if you have an enclosed porch or something like that, because you also have to watch for the weather. If it's going to rain or snow, you don't really want to be outside with the crystals because depending on which ones you have, like selenite, it will break down in liquid pretty quickly. So you have to be very careful when you're, be very careful when you're doing that.
You want liquid crystals.
No.
All right. So lately I'm seeing a lot about Zodiac crystals. I know we talked about them a little bit on our previous show. I was just wondering if there's any like validity to this idea. Like, you know, I'm a Taurus, so whatever.
Whatever's going on there.
Yeah, so whatever stones for me wouldn't necessarily work better for, or the same as like for a Libra. Like, is that how it works, or is it?
Well, the way I understand it is this, and I kind of can relate in some because I'm a Leo and I've kind of experimented a little bit. So the thing is with our Zodiac and stuff like that, like we carry specific energy, and depending upon what planet that rules over our Zodiac, our astrology sign, it's got different energy. So it depends on how we are. So certain crystals really help to kind of harness that energy, to kind of help calm it, relax it. Like for you being a Taurus can be really kind of stubborn in some ways. And they can be very just kind of like calm, but also it is what it is. right? Just there. Mm-hmm. So selenite and kunzite and I believe kyanite really, really help to calm that Taurus and to relax their energy and so forth. So it's really kind of that connection of the planetary energies vibrating with the energy of that crystal that comes together. That planetary energy, like for you, I forget what planet rules over?
Mercury.
Mercury. Oh, God bless you.
Mercury and Venus, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so you get like a double whammy.
I think
or one of the
I don't know. Sorry, Christina, our astrology teacher.
I think it might be Venus. No, it could be. Well, still.
Venus with Taurus, but I think Mercury rules my chart. I think that's what it was.
Okay, so you've got some chaotic energy going on, right? And it makes you deal with stuff when you don't want to. So selenite's really good for that chaotic energy, because sometimes, unfortunately, chaotic energy can come across as either a negative or a positive.
Yeah.
And with selenite, what that does is it cleanses us, it calms us, and it can remove negative energy. And just to note, selenite's actually very good for clearing out your stones as well. And it doesn't need to be cleansed itself. So it's actually I love to cleanse selenite once in a great while. Yeah. But it doesn't even need it.
Why is
all.
that? Do you know?
I have no clue. That's one thing I don't know. I guess that's just how it is.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though.
But, yeah, so for Taurus, selenite's really a good stone. For Leos, we're very protective, and we can be stubborn, and we can be very kind of like head-buttish because we just, again, it is what it is. Yeah. This is just how it is. And we're very strong, opinionated with that. So for us, stones that work with a Leo, for myself, would be amber, imperial topaz, golden tiger's eye, or actually any tiger's eye, because you have what's called hawk's eye, which is like blue, blue tiger's eye, and then you have the red tiger's eye. So really any of them, but the golden tiger's eye is really good. And it kind of helps us feel like we are protected, and it helps to keep us more balanced. And I believe the Leo energy also kind of surrounds the solar plexus as well, and that's a really centered place. And I know as a Leo that if I feel chaotic, I'm not happy. I'm controlling with myself. Myself needs to be under control. So, yeah, I do believe that there is some validity to this. I really do. I really, really do. I agree with it.
It's funny. Actually, a few months ago, I was like obsessed with finding like selenite, and like I had to purchase it, and I bought like a necklace and like one of the towers and some tumble stones. But now I know why, so that makes sense.
It was speaking to you. Your guides, your angels were probably like, take the selenite.
Yeah. Take as much as you can.
Absorb.
All right. Well, see, good. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are crystal grids and how do you use them?
Okay. Well, you have a couple different kinds. You have the type that are for intention and manifestation, and then you have the protection grids, which you can like basically grid your home. So with the intention and manifestation grids, what this is crystals that are kind of laid out in a geometrical pattern, like kind of mostly circular. But I've searched online, and there's like tons of all kinds of wacky shapes going on. As long as it's got a geometrical patterning to it, like your grid, it will work. The smallest grids, you're going to want at least 6 stones, and you want something in the center, which is kind of referred to as the generator, and it's usually bigger than the rest of the stones. Okay. So let's say, for example, you want to do a grid for luck, prosperity, abundance, maybe help with work. So what you do is your main focus, your manifestation, your intention stone would be a stone that works for one of those things. Okay. So you could use golden tiger's eye, citrine, a green aventurine, or aventurine. I don't know. I just pronounce it the way that I think it should be pronounced. So you have that larger stone in your center. Then you want to have 6 stones, and because there's like 3 main stones that I just mentioned that can work, you can actually do 2 golden tiger's eye, 2 citrine, and 2 green aventurine. Okay. And what you want to do is you want to go around in a circle. You place them one by one around in a circle. Then you're going to take clear quartz points, and you want one clear quartz point to go between each one of those crystals going around. So you just made like a cute little sunshiny kind of looking grid. It's a little hard to explain on the radio, really, what like without showing. So then what you do is once you have them in order, and you want to pay attention to what order you're placing them, because then you take an additional clear quartz point and you touch your generator stone and then touch the very first stone you laid down. So you're connecting that energy.
Oh, okay.
So you go through and you connect generator to stone 1, generator to stone 2, back to generator stone 3, and you go all the way around till you've touched every single crystal. In this process, you want to hold your intention as to what you want to get out of this grid. So after you're holding your intention and you're done, you can then focus your intention using your hands, if you want, and imagine like white light energy coming from your hands and focusing your attention what you want in this grid. You state your intentions. You can say a prayer afterwards if you want, or just slowly back away. You definitely want to place these grids where little fingers, paws, husbands, won't go touching, in a place where the energy isn't going to really get disturbed very much. Because if you place it like near a main door, every person's energy that comes past is going to go into this grid, and then your intention it's going to get not really messed up, but it's like there's other energy.
Almost like diluted.
Exactly, like diluting. So put it in a room, like off to, outside and stuff, somewhere it's not going to be disturbed. You can leave it there for up to about 3 days. And then once you're done, if you remember the order in which you put it up, you can then take it down one by one, or just, respectfully just dismantle the grid until next time. So that's with using them for intentions, manifestation. The other form is to do protecting your home, and you would use a stick of selenite and black tourmaline, and you would start in a corner, any corner you want, and you place one of each in the corner, and then you go every 3 to 6 feet, place another set, hit another corner. So basically what you're doing is you're placing them on the walls of your home where the outside is directly the opposite of that wall.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a wall where there's like a bedroom or a bathroom on the other side, you don't even need one there.
Oh, okay. So just like the outside perimeter of the
Just your
house.
outside, exactly, outside perimeter. And when you're placing these, you say that something along the lines of that you're placing them with the intention that only positive, loving, healing energy may enter your home, and it will keep out any negative, lower toxic energy from entering the home. And again, you can say, in Jesus' name I pray, and whoever you believe, and so forth. And you go down the line. When you get to a doorway or a window, you can place it either on either side of the window or on the windowsill itself or above the doorway. And you just keep going all around your perimeter, and then set your intention when you're done and leave it be. When you use selenite and black tourmaline, those two stones don't need to be cleansed at all. So you can leave them up all the time.
Oh, okay.
If you smudge your house, hit them up a little bit just to kind of, refresh them. But just note also that if you have like a little bit of negative energy that comes and goes in the house, you're going to want to smudge out the house first, then lay down your grid. Because if you lay down the grid and then smudge, you're kind of trapping the energy in, and it really can't. Yeah, you don't need that. So it's the same thing with salt. Some people put down salt. You want to smudge everything out first, then lay down your salt. So it's kind of the same difference.
So have you used the first type of grid, like you said, for prosperity and things like that? I was just wondering how effective they are.
I actually set up what I called my 2017 New Year grid, and I set this up on New Year's Day, I lied. It's New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, and I basically took like a couple days to really decide what I wanted to try to manifest for the year 2017. And I got together all the stones that I wanted, and I grabbed my my cutting board in my kitchen, and I set them on there. And I wanted to try to have a lot of luck and prosperity and abundance, and actually helping with connection more to energies, and helping with the students as well, because you and I, being assistant teachers here, it's important to me. Like, I love helping other people. You know, the great empath over here. I love helping others. So I want to do it effectively, but with love. You know, helping them with their needs, putting my Leo pride aside, and not what I want, but what they need. Yeah. So I think we're more than halfway through the year, and I think it's going pretty well.
Oh, great.
And I let it sit up actually for 5 days because I forgot to take it down. But I think it's going well.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious, you know, if you had experience with them, how they work. But sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. So then you mentioned, you know, a little bit earlier about, you know, the training you're taking again. So I was just curious how crystals can be used with chakras, like specific stones for the chakras, or?
Yes. So basically the way it works is with chakras is they're kind of our energy centers, and we have 7 main chakras, and then we literally have like hundreds of little chakras all over our body. But the 7 main ones are what people really are familiar with the rainbow colors.
Yeah.
So with those, there are specific stones that actually resonate with each of the chakras. There's several, actually. You can look up chakra stones to get like a list of 30 for just the root alone.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I like to stick with the rainbow colors. So with the root, we have red.
Yeah.
With the sacral, we have orange, you know, and so forth. I like to try to stick to those because it helps me and others to kind of remember. So what you do, and I don't even know if I just mentioned this, but Sanskrit is like the word for wheel. So we want to imagine them as being like little light wheels. It could be a cogwheel or a pinwheel of energy just spinning in motion. Could be clockwise, could be counterclockwise. There's a little bit of controversy out there as to which direction they actually go. It's really kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
So really, it's just the crystal that helps resonate with that chakra and helps to bring up that vibration. And when you're doing a chakra alignment and you're putting those stones on, they actually help to either balance and align or to like activate. So there's actually 2 different sets of crystals to use when you're doing balancing or activating. So with balancing, it's kind of like the energy is, oh God, I hope I don't reverse these. I keep saying, oh my God, which way? So with balancing, it's like the energy is just a little bit too high. It's like aggressive. It's like kind of up. And we want to balance it and bring it down. So we're going to use the regular stones.
Okay.
When you want to really kind of align it and like recharge, there's different stones of different colors that you would use to kind of bring that back up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat how it works.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Looking forward to learning more tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
So another important topic that I think we definitely need to discuss. Some people swear by the benefits of gem elixirs or crystal water. It sounds potentially very dangerous. So what is your opinion on using these?
No, okay. Well, it can be, because here's the thing with this, is with crystals, one of their main purposes is to really raise our energetic vibration. And they come from the ground, they come from the earth, and they're made from the earth and so forth. So really, we have to really pay attention and understand exactly where a crystal comes from, first of all. Second, there's 2 ways to do this. If there's more, okay, I'll have to check that out because I only know of 2. But there's the direct method and the indirect method. The direct method requires you to put crystals actually in water and allow the energy of the crystal to be absorbed in water, because water can carry a vibration, energy vibration. So it's to allow the crystal to be absorbed, the energy to be absorbed by the water.
Okay.
This can be toxic. This can be dangerous, because if you're not aware of the actual makeup of a crystal, you can potentially poison yourself. Some crystals are made up of high levels of mercury, copper, lead, iron, and stuff like that. And if you're taking this crystal, let's say like blue goldstone, everybody loves goldstone. They look like galaxies and stuff like that. There's actually copper in there. So if you set this in there, it's absorbing not only the energy, but like the copper metal as well. Yeah. And it's just really
not good.
Not smart. Another thing is that with chemicals, crystals absorb chemicals. A lot of places won't tell you, but what they will do is they will actually soak crystals in motor oil and other chemicals to reach like a desired color. Mm-hmm. So let's say it's rose quartz and it's like a really pale pinky color, and they want this bright, vibrant, rosy quartz color. They'll soak it in motor oil and other chemicals, almost like putting the crystal under some kind of distress to bring out the color.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they won't tell you, Mm-hmm. So sorry. I'm letting it out now. But you're then ingesting this. Yeah. So it's really not. I don't personally support the direct method. Mm-hmm. I am seeing there are like crystal water bottles out there where it comes with a little canister inside the bottle. You fill it with stones and screw that on and whatever. Mm-hmm. If that seal isn't on tight, again, you're getting the water in there and it's mixing. Yeah. So the indirect method is actually, I think, a lot safer. And what it is you're putting crystals into a glass or wooden bowl, whatever crystals you want. And you're putting the glass of water or a pitcher of water into this bowl, and the crystals are surrounding it. Okay. Both methods take about 2-3 hours to fully absorb. But basically you allow for the crystals the energy to come up and out and go into this water. Once the energies have absorbed, you then can drink it. So you don't have to put the crystals in the water for the vibrations to even get in there. Okay. And the whole purpose, to my understanding, with crystal water, gem water, it's all the same thing, just like different names, is to really, they want to ingest the properties versus putting the crystal on you in meditating. Oh, okay. Yeah. So when you're doing that, just to clarify any, misunderstandings here, you can take blue goldstone and set it on your body. Mm-hmm. You're not absorbing chemicals. Yeah. It's just sitting there. Mm-hmm. If it's in the water, it's kind of breaking down. It's getting into, because the crystal absorbs that water and it flushes through. So please be careful. Please really just research the crystals. I kind of can't stress that enough. Yeah. But really research what you want to work with and what you want to use it for before you really get into doing it. Yeah, I think I'll still stick with, wearing crystals and having them in my pocket. I don't know. I wouldn't exactly trust drinking. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, folks. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I know we're short on time, but real quick, another question I want to ask. I've also seen certain crystals are for certain archangels. Mm-hmm. So how is that so? Like, does a certain crystal help call a certain angel to you, or what is your understanding of that? Pretty much, in a way. What it really is angels are way above us. They just resonate on their own energy level, like way up there. I know that you communicate with angels as well as I do, and sometimes when certain ones come in, we'll get sweaty and shaky, and it's just, we're not at their level with their vibration. Mm-hmm. So certain angels will correspond with specific colors. Okay. So the color vibration and the crystal vibration resonate roughly about the same. So it resonates with that angel. Mm-hmm. So you can use, for example, there's angelite, selenite. Those two crystals alone can really connect you to any angel. Then you have certain crystals that work with color vibration with certain archangels. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you have Archangel Shamuel, who resonates really well with like fluorite. Yeah. And then you have Archangel Gabriel, who likes copper but also citrine. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And then you have Archangel Michael, who resonates with sugilite, or sugelite, they'll call it, whichever way you want to pronounce it. But he also works very well with lapis. Oh, okay. Lapis lazuli, however you want to call it. Kind of different crystals. So really, you're just kind of grabbing that crystal and you're just kind of asking them to come forward and help you. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for all of your information tonight. Absolutely. Wrap up. So for full list of classes, visit ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com, and to book a reading with Reverend Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium, visit ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com, or find her on Facebook. You can find me at Amanda Friedman Psychic Medium on Facebook. And Tree, where can they find you? On Facebook as well as Theresa Matuszak Psychic Medium. All right. And thank you for tuning in tonight. Catch our next show coming up in a few weeks. We'll have all the ads and everything out.
here on Ask a Medium at Academy Talk Radio, where we are raising up the next generation of light workers. Good night, everybody.
Good night.